And we have been talking for about 5 minutes. You all, please forgive me. 4 minutes and 4 seconds. We've just been going, going, going. And ironically enough, we were not even live, but we're live now. Hi, I am Stacey Bullock, your host of Tools for Everyday Living. And you see, things happen in life that we could look at it as a negative. Here I was sitting talking all this time thinking, oh, yes, the audience is hearing and enjoying everything that I'm saying. But that was not the case at all. So, guess what? You're going to get the liberties of me starting this party all over again. We'll be right back. Hi, I'm back. Stacey Bullock, your host of Tools for Everyday Living, where you have joined us today. And I was just talking earlier and realized that I was not even addressing the audience, but here we are. But I want to say again that I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful for the opportunity to share my God given wisdom with you all. It is a pleasure. It's a privilege, and I will never take it for granted. I'll never take you for granted for being out there listening to me on a weekly basis every Friday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I won't take the information that I have to give to you, to share with you. I won't take that for granted either. So let's go. Let's get into this powerful subject. The title of our show today is come on now, let's get it together. The title of the show is Using the Power of Resilience. But first, we have to have a clear understanding that resilience is a power, a superpower, if you will. You know, sometimes life can make us feel like, oh, things are just not going the way they should be going. We might feel like we're going backwards. We might feel like, I can't believe this is happening to me. We may feel like everything is just going wrong. But let me be an example of what it looks like when those thoughts and those feelings go away, that everything is going wrong. And notice I did not say that everything changed. What I said was when my thoughts of the feeling of things going wrong when that went away. That is the resilience power. That resilience will cause you to want to move forward in life, want to move through any obstacle that wanted to try to get in your way. So, yeah, let's look at this powerful tool. Let's see the definition, if you will, of what I look at sometimes, the Merriam Webster. But then after I look at that, I'm so thankful that I am given a broader definition. And in that broader definition are steps and tools and things that we need as humans to continue to be. That's the goal, is that we are in our being, that we are experiencing life and having this wonderful time while doing it, because we are in our full purpose. We are in our will. We are in what makes us flow. But we have to have resilience, because life gonna show up with some stuff and do those things that I just talked about a few seconds ago, that try to make you feel like you are not on the right path, that you're not on the right track. Now, there's sometimes when we are not on the right path, or we are not on the right track, but it's those moments that we should be able to clearly understand that, guess what? If I'm not on the right path, if I'm not in the right flow of things, and here's my acronym for flow. I hope you got something to write with, because this was pretty good. I've been looking at it for some time. I had to write it down a couple times. It's flow, FLOW, standing for fully living and outwardly winning. Fully living and outwardly winning. But how do we do that when difficulties keep showing up? How do we get this done when stuff is falling off the shelves, as we speak? I'm just using that as an example. The slightest little wind come and things just start to wobble and move, and we're not feeling real stable in life. But this is when we're going to have to dig in and find what we were taught when I was in the military, that internal toughness, intestinal fortitude, internal toughness and intestinal fortitude. The definition of resilience says the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties. The capacity, the ability to recover quickly from difficulties. My definition, though, is your inner strength begins to be demonstrated outwardly. Your inner strength begins to be demonstrated outwardly in your being. And especially when we're in a flow, it's like, okay, yep, somebody rolled a boulder right in front of me, but that boulder is not going to stop me. This is the mindset that we have to have now. We have to have the mindset that if I'm not doing the thing that I believe that I'm purposed to do, then whatever that was shot out in front of me to make an obstacle or some type of roadblock or a difficulty, I am able to recover from it quickly. Not saying not to pay attention to it, not to handle it, not to take care of your business, but at that moment, the first thought has to be, I am able and equipped to handle this. I have the internal toughness to show on the outside that I am built, have experienced some um, things where it's like, oh, wait a minute. I am, excuse me, I am experiencing something like an earthquake. I'm experiencing something that is causing me to tremble and is causing me to get a little nervous. It's causing me to feel like my feet are not sturdy on the ground. But let me tell you something about houses. And I look at us human beings as being a physical house made out of flesh. We're just a house walking around. It's needed. We need this house. We need it to be in good health. We need it to be in good strength so that we can continue to walk around and fulfill purpose. But architectures, they build a design in every building that is called resilience. Architects, I'm going to say that again, architects, and get the word right this time, they build in every design a process, a portion that's called resilience. And that's so that when things happen, when earthquakes happen, tornadoes, the physical destructive things that you see that come through the earth, when that happens, that building is able to absorb and not uh, and it'll be able to avoid the damage, be able to avoid complete suffering, complete destruction of the building. So I'm going to stretch out here on a limb and say that because I know myself personally, I'm pretty strong-willed. I bet there's somebody out there listening right now that's pretty strong-willed. And because of that, you have the ability to demonstrate that you're able to absorb some things without going through complete failure. There's an architect that has designed you and your infrastructure and your core and the essence of who you are was purposely created with this capacity to return to your normal state of health, mind, and strength when crises show up. I can't say that whole thing again, but I'm going to tell you, you have what it takes in you to handle anything that has come your way. And I am one who knows that life can get extremely hard. It can look like the side of it just fell off into the cliff and it is no longer in existence. There's a crisis going on. But I'm going to tell you that you can have the psychological resilience. You can have the ability to cope with this crisis and return quickly to your pre-crisis mode. In a simpler term, let me say that psychological resilience, it exists in people who develop. Listen at the key words here. There are key words in this. There are some tools. There's the resilience we're starting with as a tool. Now, here's another tool. Development. Develop some behavioral. We're going to say this word right today. Behavioral capabilities that allow you to remain calm. There's another tool. That's the biggest one, I think, in the bag, in the toolbox, or the tool bag, or the tool belt. However, whatever you want to use to house your tools in, just make sure you have some tools. And the biggest one I can tell you is to remain calm. You know, they tell all during emergency trainings that I've been through, many of them, whether it been on a civilian job or in the military, we always had to be trained. We always had to have some tools in our pocket that when things happen, especially in the military, we can't all of a sudden when something happens, we cannot just lose it. We have to remain calm. You know what I do to remain calm? a lot is I don't try to laugh sometimes, because if people are around, they may think that I'm laughing at them or laughing at something, or just think I'm completely nuts. But I have to just stay calm. Staying calm allows you to breathe. Staying calm allows you to think. Staying calm allows you to hear instructions from your own mind or somebody else giving the instructions of what to do next. You can hear it, but now that you can hear it, now you can actually execute what is said without having some long-term negative consequences from the crisis that has taken place, and in some of our lives is taking place. I'm going to let that marinate in your mind a little bit, because we've been going for just a little time, and I want you to really think about what's been said so far about resilience. But please, please, please don't go away, because I see you watching, and I know that there's some more that we're going to delve into that's going to turn on a light switch about resilience. But we'll be right back. We're going to take a break.
I'm Stacy Bullock, and I'm committed to waking your power to bounce back quickly from life's challenges. I've learned there is power in resilience. There was a point in my life when I closely identified with the Sade song, Soldier of Love. Mostly what I identified with was the part that says, I've lost the use of my heart, but I'm still alive. Doubt, disappointment, rejection, it left a stain on my soul. But that's the place where our determination lives. And that's the place where we have to dig in and find resilience so that we can bounce back. I have taken all of that disappointment and despair, and now I use it as a catalyst. It has become my energy to fight, to become a better, a stronger human being every day. Why do I do this? 2 reasons. So I can help you understand that you can become better, and that you can become stronger, and then you can survive any situation. The second reason is because I was born to do it. I am a transformational speaker who can help you know that there is power after pain.
Every day, living tools for every day, living tools for every day, living every day, living tools for every day, living tools for every day,
Hello, it's Stacy Bullock, your host of Tools for Everyday Living. And just like I promised, we are back, and we are going to delve some more into this resilience, and we're going to hear about ways to keep going. It's simple. We need ways to keep going. We need ways to say, no matter what happens, as long as I'm still breathing, I am going to press forward however you need to. You can press forward crawling, we can press forward walking, we can press forward running, but what we have to do is keep moving forward. Even though it might seem like things are just falling apart around us. It's like somebody is coming in and just eating up everything that we are building, tearing it down, or either one is not growing. The business is not growing, the marriage is not growing, the job is not growing. It may seem like that everything that is around us right now is empty. But I tell you what, We have to find a way to keep feeling joy. And the way I do that, I sing a lot, I dance a lot around in the house. I make up in my mind that I am going to do whatever it takes to keep Stacy moving. So you out there, you have to find out what it is going to take to keep you moving. What is it going to take to make you continue to believe in you, to continue to feel like, you know what, no matter what, this don't matter. This was just a small little test, and that you are still king of the mountain, that you can still run at full speed, you know, all of full out sprint. I love track and field. I love sports, and I love watching when things are moved forward. I would venture to say my favorite sport is probably football, and it did not matter that my team might have only picked up a yard. The bottom line to the whole thing is, guess what? My team picked up a yard. They moved forward. They didn't have to move backwards. And now we don't have 10 yards to go. Now we got like 15 yards to go. No, we only needed 10 to get to the next level. And that's how we have to think about life sometimes. Don't put the whole 100-yard field out there for you to conquer all at one time. Take the bites, take the 10 yards, take the 2 yards, take the 1 yard. Shoot, take the half a yard. You still have moved forward. You still have something to say, you know what? I'm gaining. A gain doesn't always have to come in large quantity. Gains come in small increments, but it's still a gain. We have to figure out how we're going to stay with the mountaintop mindset. That's what we're calling it right now, the mountaintop mindset. But better yet, with that mountaintop mindset, that means you're at a higher level and you can see better. The vision is a little bit clearer when you're standing on top, when you're thinking on top, when you have a will that says, nope, I am not going to see this as a negative. Oh, yeah, it might be bad. And I get that. But at that moment, we have to practice. Remember, we heard the word earlier that said we have to develop this resilience. We have to develop this mindset. These are not things that really happen overnight. I was in the dental field for about 20 some years, and we always talk about flossing our teeth and stuff like that. And when I was a hygienist, I would always say to my patients, if you did not grow up flossing your teeth, don't be mad at yourself when you miss flossing your teeth a few days. So try to find a way that you can implement it into your daily routine. Find a way to implement in your daily routine a way for you to keep your clear vision, a way for you to keep your motivation, a way for you to keep your inspiration, a way for you to keep the transformation of your mindset continually growing, continually moving forward. It doesn't matter. Remember, if it's just a half a yard, it's okay. You still moved forward. You still have sight. You still have the power to want to see you going forward. You have made up in your mind and said, you know what? I'm going to see myself in a different place. I'm not going to see myself in the surroundings that I'm in right now. Dishes might be swirling all around. There might be laundry everywhere. There could possibly be children just being children. Remember, they're children, they're just being children. So now is the time when we have to say, I have to find a way to keep my focus. I have to find a way to be resilient, even though it doesn't look like it might turn out for my good, but it will. If you keep up your end of the deal, your end of the deal is to do what? Your end of the deal is to find what keeps you focused, what keeps your clear vision, what keeps you going, what makes you say, regardless of what happens, I have this power in me called resilience that I'm going to now dig into it. Because sometimes that's what it takes. We have to dig into it, dig through some stuff to find our strength, dig through our pain and our rejection and our disappointment. And now, what we're digging through it with, though, is this thing called love, the love of you. You have to learn how to love yourself so much that yeah, I'm gonna use this word, unconditionally love yourself. Somebody asked me a question one day, and I was in a class and they said, are you unconditionally loving yourself? At first I felt like I was being picked on, and then it hit me like a ton of bricks that at that moment a few years ago my answer was no, because I kept telling myself no, I would take on and do everything that I promised everybody else, but I didn't do what I promised myself sometimes. So keep in mind that that will wear on your resilience. That will wear on your ability to come back quickly when life starts to throw other things at you. The people who you said yes to, they're gone. They're no longer in your sight. They're no longer in your vision. You know, this thing called 2020, I remember when 2020 first came around. Everybody was so excited about 2020, and I had to look it up. I had to look it up to see what it means in vision language, in seeing further language. And it's our visual perception that gets us uh, messed up sometimes, gets our thinking off. We don't focus on coming back. We don't, sometimes we may not even realize that there's something going on that's tearing away at us until we are so bogged down and stressed out that we're in a frenzy. But now we're going to learn how to not do that anymore, because we're just going to have this resilience on hand in that toolbox, and whoop, we're going to pull it out when it's needed, because trust me, it's going to be needed. But we have to have this sharpness of clarity. That's what 2020 is. It's the visual acuity, is the number. It indicates the sharpness of your clarity of your vision. How far can you see through crisis? How far ahead can you see through things that might want to cause your vision to go dim or completely blind? How far can you see? That's what the 2020, that's what it measures. And when I was saying that, I used to work at the National Federation of the Blind, wonderful organization, wonderful organization. And it amazed me how the people who were challenged in their sight, that the vision they had for the organization. We had lawyers, attorneys, that's the same thing. We had accountants, that's what I wanted to say. We had accountants, we had many people in different fields, and they would lobby for benefits for people who were sight challenged. But it, like I said, it always amazed me how far ahead they could see in the future. Say that some of the devices that they use to tell them what color clothes that they're matching up, to read the books to them, to help them to write letters, they were able to see these things and know that we're going to need this in the future. And because they saw in the future, hint hint, that gave them the power of resilience. That gave them the power to push through. So now it's up to you and me to say, how am I going to develop my sight? What devices, what tools do I need to help me continue to have this trust and have this understanding of this strength, have this tenacity, have this belief that regardless of how it looks right now, this is not my life. This is not how it will all turn out. I have a tool. I have a mechanism. I have something that I can grab a hold to that'll get me through to the next level, to your next destination in life. The journey is going to continue. So you got to continue on the journey. You can't just stop on the journey. You must continue. But what is it that's going to cause you to fight with your mind and push through? We must be able to mentally fight and have an expectation of winning. We must have an expectation of winning any mental fight that comes our way. I'll be right back. We got to take another short break, but I promise I'll be right back.
Have you found yourself wondering, what is my purpose? Why am I here? Recognizing the stranger in the mirror is the book for you. It helps us to unravel the mystery of who you really are, revealing your life's passion and why you should unveil the real you to the world. We need you. You are valuable and necessary for those who are connected to you. Do not be afraid to peek in and discover all your gifts and talents to share. It's real freedom when we reveal our authenticity. Stacey Bullock is a 2-time best-selling author, transformational speaker, and host of Tools for Everyday Living TV show. She is committed to igniting resilience, personal transformation, and building life skills of her audiences and clients. The author of 2 previously written self-help books, Beaten Oil and Regain Power Through Resilience, Don't Let Your Brain Go Numb. Stacey imparts lessons that teaches readers to utilize their light as a guide for others, and discovering inner strength and resiliency to bounce back when life throws curveballs. Stacey may be reached for speaking engagements, leadership and employee training, and life skills coaching via her email at stacy@powerandresilience.com.
And just like that, we're back. Thank you for hanging in there with me. Look, check this out. So, here's a good word that I kind of probably coined. I'm not sure if it's in the dictionary or not, but it works. I say to myself that I am an outlaster. I'm an outlaster of anything that tried to bring me down. You can take it, you can have it, take it, use it, say it. When things come your way, let this be your catalyst, your motivation to say, you know what, I'm whatever is going on right now, I'm going to outlast it. It is not permanent. It is not going to stay here forever. I am going to outlast it. And when my name is called, because as I've been building and developing, as you have been building and developing your resilience, the power of it, and bouncing back from life's ills, when your I don't know if your name is called, let's say, or the time, when the time comes for you to show up in the fullness of who you are at that moment, because we keep growing, we keep elevating, we keep developing, because we're a living being. So we keep going, we keep pushing. But when it's time, we say, all right, you know what, I'm ready to get up, I'm gonna go ahead and wash my face, I'm gonna put some good clothes on, and I am going to get up and put on this my demonstration right in the face of adversity. I'm going to put on the demonstration of I can, I will, and I must. I can, I will, and I must. That's not my phrase. I got that from Motiversity. It's like it's something. Just Google motivation, and I'm sure it will come up. But this is how we're going to grow through these hard times. Resiliency comes from just simply loving you enough to get up, change your attitude, change your focus. Sometimes we have to change the way we dress, change the way we speak, make sure we are speaking clearly, make sure we enunciate properly. That's my mother coming through out of me now. She always wanted to make sure that I was prepared to communicate with others. That's needed. We need to be able to communicate. But resiliency, it comes from loving who you are and understanding that there is an assignment for you. Before you came here, there was already something put in place for you specifically to do. Can I say that again for you, please? I want to make sure everybody, if you turned your head away from the TV or you got distracted away from the YouTube video or the Facebook Live, whichever one you're on, I want to say it again, that you have an understanding that you have purpose. You have a reason to be here, that you're a treasure, and that there's a light in you that has to come out. See, the light that's in you gives you directions, but it also gives others directions. It also says that, you know what, there's something different about that person. And that may be one of the reasons why so many people are attracted and looking at you and coming at you with their experiences of how they do things. And sometimes that might cause some difficulty because it may not be the thing that we are accustomed to doing or that we want to do, because now we're elevating and we're growing and developing, understanding who we are, and that we have an assignment for our life. So we get it can get a little hairy. There can be some gray areas, and when that gray area shows up, we have to make sure that it doesn't steal our shine, because that's what that light is going to cause you to do too. It's going to cause you to shine in darkness. I took this picture and it popped up on my you know memories, and I took a picture of the moonlight at around midnight that was shining through my window, and it lit the room up even though there were no lights on. I was like, wow, darkness cannot shut out light. So negativity cannot shut out light. We can't allow it to do it. When we feel that building up or coming around us in a crisis, because that could happen when we feel like life is just not going the way we think it should go. There may be an illness, there may be a job loss, there may be many things that could happen, an elderly parent having to care for them or anything. And sometimes we feel like, you know what, it's just not going right for me. And now we allow the negative to cover us, to give us a shadow of sorts that we really don't need. You know what? When we get knocked down, that's all right. Get back up. Get back up. We have to use our mental strength sometimes to get back up. You know, when I'm a runner as well, and I remember this time I was just running and going along, me and my dog at the time, and I fell down. I fell down and rolled a couple of feet. And I had, you know how you do, you look back to see what was that knocked me down? What was that I did not see coming up that made me hit the ground and fall? And I had a couple of scars and stuff on my knees. I hadn't had my knees scarred up in a long time. But as I sat there on the ground, I had to think and say, what you gonna do now? You just gonna sit here on the ground as the cars roll by? So I got myself together, get to a certain point in life, certain age, I should say, and you start checking yourself to make sure you still all in one piece. And I was a little scarred up, a little hurt, but it was okay because I was, hurting, but I wasn't completely broken. That happens in life. There's some things that will come and hurt us, but we can't allow it to completely break us. We have to keep going. We can't give up. We can't quit. We have to get up again and keep going. I had to get up. I had to get back to my house. And actually, when I got up and walked towards my house, because I was just going to forget running that day and come and try it again. But as I walked, the pain lessened. As I moved, as I put movement with my mindset of, come on, you all right, get up, it's okay, keep moving, don't quit here, keep going. As I began to move in the directions of going home, my body said, it's okay. You can keep running. You can grab a hold to this mental strength now that's going to keep you out here and keep you moving and keep me steadfast, even though I was at that moment, that was a little duress. I know there's some things out there that are happening at this very moment that are more than a little stressful. But I am here to say to you, I have experienced some things that probably are way more stressful than I ever imagined. But I'm right here, right now, because I said I refuse to give up. I am going to allow the power of resilience to push me forward, to make me continue to focus and look and have vision about what the purpose is for my actual life. Even though some trials I had to go through, some tribulations, yeah. But guess what? Made it through all of them. Made it through every single piece. Nothing was there to that could stop me, that could make me give up, that could make me feel like, oh, this is not worth doing anymore. I don't want to have any parts of this. No, I had to clear my mind of all of that. I had to make sure that my mind sight stayed intact. Because if my mind sight didn't stay intact, I wouldn't have made it through. There would have been absolutely no way that I would have made it through. I think of trials now and circumstances as my developers. They are developing me into this woman that I will need to be next month, next year. Just think of the things that come your way. They're your developers. I call them shapers sometimes. Sometimes we need, that saying is true. We need to be whipped into shape. Athletes, they train and train because they want to be in shape when the hit comes, especially in the football arena. They don't want to not have muscle mass, because at that point, then they're liable to crumble under the hit, under the circumstance. We are not going to crumble under any hits. We're going to keep going and stay focused. We're going to take one more break, and I'll be right back. Hi, my name is Stacy Bullock. I am the president and CEO of Ordered Steps Incorporated, a nonprofit organization whose mission is to provide tangible hope to formerly incarcerated female veterans and homeless women. We give them an opportunity to live a productive life while participating in our one-year training courses to guide them in life skills and job training. And we're back. So I'm going to do a little recap because I want you to be clear on what it is that you heard today. And if you know, you can always go back on replay on this. You can go back on YouTube at any time. Please go to YouTube, like and share and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. But I want you to think about these things that what is my plan? What is my plan for when things happen? How am I going to take the opportunities to develop resilience? Because remember, it needs to be developed. It needs to be like when you go into the gym and work out to get to a certain goal. You have a goal that you want to reach. And that's life, period. We have to have goals that we want to reach, but what's the plan for us to get there? And in that plan, remember, we have to put in the design of resilience. What are we going to do when life looks like it's about to quake? When it looks like there's going to be an earthquake and some things might fall apart, what is it that we're going to do? How are we going to get back into the flow quickly? We're going to be able to do that because we're going to make sure that we maintain our vision, that we maintain the ability, the capacity to see past circumstances. Because when you start to become a resilient person, you're going to have such an internal power that when it's demonstrated outwardly, sometimes people might think nothing bothers you, but it is happening. It's just not crushing you to the point where you're debilitated and can't move in life. And I lived that. Unfortunately, I lived it way too long. And sometimes with this army injury, so it wants to stop me from moving physically. And I have to do things. I have to have a plan to say, okay, what am I going to do to make this pain not be so intense when it tries to show up? So that means that I have to take time out to exercise. That means I have to take time out to drink the right amount of water to keep me hydrated. That means I have to go to see an acupuncturist and find things like this wonderful place I found, and they're going to be on the show in a couple of weeks. I hope you watch. It's called Restore Hyper Wellness. Oh my goodness, they have some things in their operation that take away pain without medicine, without surgery. My favorite one is just to stand in front of the UV panels and allow the manufactured sun rays to penetrate my body and remove the inflammation that's causing the pain. But that's one of the things, that's a tool. What is your necessary tool that you need so that you can live a great quality of life, that you can fulfill your dreams, that you can walk in your purpose, that you can conjure up your resilience at any moment? What is your necessary tool? Is it positive self-talk? Is it just another form of affirmation? That's why I say positive self-talk. I am strong. I am able to do this. I do have the instructions. I am strong enough to get this done. Just have a plan. Always have something and an alternative in place when those hard days come, because they do show up. They do show up, but you're going to be ready. You're going to be prepared. You're going to come back and continue to watch Tools for Everyday Living every Friday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time via the YouTube channel or E360 TV on the Positive Vibrations channel. You're going to do what you need to do to make sure that your life is healthy, the entire part of your life, mind, body, and soul. I thank you all so much for joining me today. I want to tell you what the moral of this story is, though. The moral of this story is it is much easier to be resilient when you are living in your God-given purpose. It is much easier to be resilient when you are living in your God-given purpose. Remember, it's in Him we live, we move, and we have our being. It's what I say is being is our purpose. We have the ability to be what we're purposed to be. So thank you for joining me today, Tools for Everyday Living. I so appreciate you all. I don't take it for granted. As I said earlier, I never will. I'm so thankful for it. And I want you to remember to always be awesome. Come out and join Ordered Steps Incorporated for a great cause. We are educating and training formerly incarcerated female veterans and homeless women.
Let's go. All right.
Celebrate! Celebrate! Yes! Magnificent! Celebrate! Celebrate!
We are amazing!
We're amazing! Yes. You gotta celebrate. Busy celebrate.
Hi, this is Stacy Bullock of Ordered Steps Incorporated, and I am here with Miss S, and she has been one of our favorite clients who we were able to assist, and I'm going to let her tell you all what it means to her for her to be assisted.
Okay, well, before I met Stacy, I'd been homeless for about 20 years here in Long Beach, California, but since I met Stacy, I mean, she got Missy involved with me, and now I'm inside. We've been inside for a little over 2 years, and we're doing better. Me and my dog Coco, and I mean, she's helped me out so much. I don't know what to do.